Hello everybody and welcome to Macquarie University. Today's presentation focuses on recognition of prior learning, or RPL for short as we like to call it. I'm Neha and I'm from the Life Cycle team, and chances are that we will be of assistance to you at some point during your university journey here at Macquarie. So let's get into it. What is recognition of prior learning, or RPL? Basically, if you've studied at another university or an institution or completed a diploma via TAFE, we would want that credit to be credited over to your current Macquarie University degree if it's applicable. In that sense, RPL intends to maximize any possible credit transfer. RPL is a process that grants specified or unspecified credit. Now, what is specified credit? Specified credit is credit granted towards the required units within your degree. And unspecified credit is credit granted towards the elective components of your degree, and it is at a particular level. As I mentioned earlier, because RPL intends to maximize any possible credit transfer, it intends to avoid duplicate learning. If you studied the same content at another university or institution, or have gained experience through work, you shouldn't have to repeat the learning. And thereby, it intends to reduce duration and cost of your degree. Macquarie University firmly believes that you should get the credit where credit is due, and this is where RPL comes in. So who can apply for RPL? This is a question that we get asked most frequently. Basically, if you are a student who has received an offer to study here at Macquarie University, you can apply for RPL. We recommend that students apply as soon as they get an offer, just so that they can have the timetable and any other unit requirements sorted before they commence. But even if you've started studying at the university, you can still apply for RPL. If you've completed any form of formal, informal, or non-formal learning, you can apply for RPL. Now, what do I mean by these? Formal learning is learning gained through any university studies or at your studies at another institution or through a diploma at TAFE, basically through a structured program of study. That's formal learning. Informal learning is learning gained through experiences such as work. And non-formal learning is learning that you may have taken on the job through certifications or training, but that did not lead to any formal degrees or certifications. If you can provide any evidence of your prior learning in the form of transcripts, certificates, or even reference letters, you can apply for RPL. And lastly, if you're requesting for this credit to count towards your admitted degree here at Macquarie University, you can apply for RPL. If your prior studies count towards your degree requirements, that's all that we need when you're applying for RPL. The next question that we get usually asked is, how do you apply for RPL? Well, if you're an undergraduate student, that is, if you're intending to study at a bachelor's degree or currently admitted into a bachelor's degree, you can apply by submitting an online RPL request via Ask MQ. If you're a postgraduate student that is currently admitted into a master's course or intending to study a master's course, you have two options. One of them is that you can apply as part of the direct admission or UAC admission process, or you can submit an online RPL request after you've received an outcome. You're now going to meet 4 students who recently commenced their degrees at Macquarie University and may be in similar situations just like you. We hope this clarifies what you can or cannot apply for and helps you understand the process a little more. Our first student is Adam. Adam's currently admitted into the Bachelor of Human Sciences with a major in Human Movement. Adam's recently completed a 1-year diploma of accounting from TAFE and has decided to shift gears a bit and now wants to become a physiotherapist in future. Now in Adam's case, because his diploma of accounting is different from a Bachelor of Human Sciences, it's unlikely that he will receive any specified credit. Remember, specified credit is credit granted towards required units within your degree. However, Adam may be eligible for up to 80 credit points, and that's a year's worth of unspecified credit that can be awarded towards his elective space. If Adam decides to apply for RPL, all that Adam needs to provide is an official academic transcript from his previous institution. Next up, we have Ruth. Ruth is currently doing the Bachelor of Security Studies here at Macquarie University. Ruth has 15 years of work experience, primarily within the Australian Defence Force. While looking through the handbook, Ruth realized that she may have met the learning outcomes of some of the units at the introductory level within her degree because of her work experience. In Ruth's case, she may be eligible for specified credit due to her work experience. However, Ruth would not be eligible for any unspecified credit because you cannot receive any unspecified credit on the basis of work experience. If Ruth decides to apply for RPL, Ruth needs to provide an up-to-date CV, official letters of reference from current or past employers, position descriptions, and a completed non-formal informal credit application form which outlines how her previous work experience matches the learning outcomes of the Macquarie University unit. We now have Carlos, who is admitted into a Bachelor of Laws degree here at Macquarie. Carlos has completed 2 years of a Bachelor of Arts with a Bachelor of Laws at another university. He doesn't want to have to repeat any of his law units that he may have already completed previously and therefore decides to apply for RPL. In Carlos's case, he may get some specified credit based on some of his previous law units. Carlos may also be eligible to receive some unspecified credit. Once again, specified credit is credit that counts towards the required units within Carlos's degree. Unspecified credit is credit granted towards the elective components of Carlos's degree. This would obviously depend on the volume of learning that Carlos has undertaken at his previous university and the Macquarie University units that Carlos applies for. So that one semester of introductory Japanese that Carlos undertook may not really be applicable for specified credit. However, Carlos may receive unspecified credit on the basis of the introductory Japanese unit. With regards to documentation, Carlos will need to provide an official academic transcript, but Carlos would also need to provide detailed and official unit outlines from his previous university. These unit outlines would need to be from the year of study as well. Next up, we have Jaime. Jaime studied French from years 9 to 12 at school and was a high achiever in high school, like many of you here, I'm sure. She's currently doing a Bachelor of Arts with a major in French and Francophone studies. Jaime is looking to advance into her degree and does not wish to have to repeat some of the introductory level French units because of her high school studies. She wishes to move on to the more advanced level units within her major. Unfortunately, in Jaime's case, RPL cannot be granted, and that is because Jaime's high school studies are at a lower level compared to your university level studies. Even an introductory level unit at university level is at a higher level than high school studies, according to the Australian qualification framework. This is what we rely on when assessing your RPL applications. Because Jaime's previous studies are not considered to be at an equivalent level for RPL to be granted, in this case, Jaime unfortunately cannot get the RPL. Although Jaime's high school studies may be a prerequisite for some of the higher level units within Jaime's degree and major, unfortunately we can't consider this for credit or RPL. We'll now look at some of the questions that we get asked most frequently. One of them is, how long is it going to take for me to receive an outcome for my RPL application? Typically, it takes about 7 to 10 working days for us to process an RPL application, but during peak periods, it can take up to 20 business days. When I say peak periods, I'm talking about just before the commencement of a session, before the census date, or before the last date to enroll. Those are generally our busiest periods. So if you're intending to apply for RPL, it's best that you apply at least 2 weeks before the commencement of session. This way you can get your timetable sorted and anything else that you need to get your studies in order before your session commences. So therefore there's no due date. You can essentially apply at any time. Would RPL affect my weighted average mark or WAM? Before I answer this question, I'm going to answer another question. What is WAM or weighted average mark? Well, WAM is short for the weighted average mark, and it is an indication of overall academic performance. It's the average mark you achieve across all completed units in your degree, including any failed or repeated attempts. Now, because specified or unspecified credit does not have a grade or mark attached to it, RPL will have no bearing on your WAM. I have completed a certificate 4 at TAFE. Am I eligible for RPL? Just like in Jaime's case before, the Certificate 4 studies at TAFE are not considered to be at an equivalent level to your university studies. Only students who have completed a diploma level qualification or higher can apply for RPL. However, you may apply for RPL based on any work experience that you may have had. I don't want to have to pay for my official transcript for my prior university. Is there anything that can be done? You can always request your prior institution to send a hard copy to the university. However, in the current unprecedented scenario, this may not be possible, and I really hope all of you are safe. If you require any further information from you, we will contact you via your RPL request. And lastly, RPL does not cost any money. It's absolutely free, so please apply. If you wish to find out more information, you can head over to the Macquarie University website and search for recognition of prior learning. There, you will find the RPL policy, which is what we use to assess any RPL applications that we get. You will also find the Credit Transfer Register, which is our database and records any previous precedents. This can be used as a guide for submission. But the operative word over here is guide, because even though a previous precedent exists, that does not guarantee credit transfer. You can also find a link to the Macquarie University Handbook, which is where you will find information about your degree requirements, including required units that you're supposed to complete within your degree, and also the unit guide. If you wish to contact the Future Students team, they are always more than happy to help. You can get in touch with them via phone, live chat, and email. They also provide personalized consultation via Zoom and hope to provide in-person consultation very soon. If you wish to get in touch with the lifecycle team regarding any specific RPL query that you may have, you can do so via Ask MQ. Just be sure to include RPL as one of the keywords, as that would mean that you would get a response to your inquiry faster. I hope this presentation has been helpful to you. I hope it has explained the RPL process and even answered any questions that you may have had. But mostly, I hope it has encouraged you to apply for RPL. Because like I mentioned earlier, you should get the credit where credit is due. This has been a true pleasure, and I'm Neha from the Lifecycle team. Thank you very much, and I hope you stay safe and take care.